Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the family. I am honored to have you here. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. Today we are going to be talking about the magic which is awakening in your outside world from inside changes, these inner transformations, and what has been going on. And this is all surrounding Pluto's retrograde ending, which Pluto is actually going direct by the time you see this today, October 8th. And when I wrote Pluto's retrograde guidebook, I picked up this overwhelming energy towards the end of the guidebook, this feeling of foreboding, this energy of stillness, and stillness that was almost, it's like a hush falling over the world. Very similar to the way that a blanket of snow will cause businesses to close and schools to close, and you just sit and you stare out your window and the whole world seems to be quiet as the snow falls. Except in that moment, it feels very magical. But the energy that I picked up had a different kind of energy. It was the build up. It was a build up energy. And the images I was getting were of funnel clouds coming out of the sky, and a memory of myself when I was a child at an amusement park. And there were all these funnel clouds and all this chaos reigned. And it was a lot of fear because we didn't know what was going to happen. And it looked like something terrible. But at the end of it all, nothing bad happened. We all ended up going in our cars and going back home. But that was the energy. I felt this kind of hush energy sweeping over the collective, and this feeling like a storm was brewing. The collective energy for this reading is the Waves Rune. And the Waves talks about being swept under, being swept away by the waves. You can get these crashes of the waves and you feel like you can't break the surface. And that has been the energy of Pluto's retrograde and building up. Now, the thing about this is that Pluto, when he pauses to turn direct in the skies, he's in a critical degree, the last critical degree of Capricorn, in the last full retrograde in his time in Capricorn. And that's why we have this overwhelming energy, this powerful energy, this potent energy that for some or for many can feel like a storm is brewing. It's because we have been compiling lessons since 2008. And Pluto is that diligent teacher planet. He leaves no stone unturned in our lives, internal or external, until the transformation has been complete. This is what we're called to realize. This has been the last big shove from Pluto in Capricorn. Years and years and years of lessons are compiling right now. The greatest possibility of transformation is here for us. If anyone studies human design or the gene keys, which is an offshoot of it, the gene key that Pluto is working on is actually about realizing the truth and reality of magic in the world. And if anyone has ever studied history, you know that magic in the world has a long and bloodied history, but that's building to change. We are being asked to realize that everything we do is some form of magic. Our words have power. We manifest, we speak things into existence, and in essence are doing spell work. We are speaking our lives into reality. Manifestation, intention, consciousness. These are all lessons we've been learning. Pluto has been teaching us diligently, lovingly, even if it doesn't feel like it. And I have such a deep and profound love for Pluto, but his retrograde cycle and coming out of it, it can feel like massive crashing ocean waves of change. And sometimes that can feel like we're not ready. This reading is to help you realize just how ready you are for what is to come. The magic that you have learned how to harness, the magic that's awakening within you, and truly, truly, this magical transformation that you are in. So we have 3 piles for you to choose from. Each one has a Celtic goddess as well as one of the witch runes. So pile 1, we have the card 32 with Isolde, and she's the goddess of perseverance. And you have the sun rune. With pile 2, you have the card 33 with Awen, the goddess of inspiration, with the rune Crossroads. And with pile 3, we have the card 8 with Skahach, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it. I actually Googled it and listened to it like 4 times and I'm still butchering it. Goddess of the mind and the harvest rune. So take a little bit of time, look over the runes, get in touch with your inner guidance, ask Spirit, ask Pluto to guide you to the pile to help you hear the messages that you need for the magical transformation that you are undergoing in your life. I will see you at your piles. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the first card, sorry, my brain and voice just like shut off. I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to say first goddess or first card. So if you chose the first card and the sunstone, this is your message. You chose the card 32 with Isolde and the goddess of perseverance, as well as the sunstone. With that also came the card fiber of the Liminal Spirits Oracle. I apologize, you guys. It's been a really long day, so I'm still getting into the flow of doing readings. But in terms of the stone itself, when I was sitting and preparing myself for the piles for the energies, I asked what very specific area it was that was transforming for you. What I got for this pile is self-limiting beliefs. Couple this with the goddess of perseverance and fiber. You, through this Pluto retrograde, but I'm getting through all of Pluto's retrogrades through Capricorn, whether you realized it or not, have been going through a very, very long, incredibly deep transformation of self. And a lot of it surrounds self-limiting beliefs and the ways in which it was woven into your mind based off of things from the past. The energies that I picked up with these cards especially talks about family. There is this essence of a family deconstruction here. And I don't mean you breaking families up. Some of you, that could be it. But what I'm getting is learning how to see that we are woven from a tapestry of all the experiences of life, of all the things that we do, say, interact with, the ways in which we grew up. But it's more than that. It's more than just how we grew up. It's how our parents grew up. It's how their parents grew up. There's that essence of a snowball that rolls downhill. And when a snowball is rolling downhill on top of soft, wet snow, it builds and builds and builds. The snowball just continues to grow. So the beliefs that 2-3 generations ago held grows as it continues to move down the line in families. And yet you feel like the stopping point of that. You feel like the sun coming out and melting the path so that the snowball stopped rolling, the snowball starting to melt. And that's not an easy place to be in a family dynamic. I'm getting black sheep energy. But the beautiful thing about this is I'm actually getting that you're embracing this about yourself. You're learning that the ways in which you grew up are not meant to reflect where you're going in life. And with Isolde and the goddess of perseverance, you haven't quit. You haven't stopped. When so many more before you would have, you didn't stop. You just kept going. And you chose to go basically into the core, the essence of who you are, and take apart what has been woven in and turn it into this beautiful music of the soul. It's almost like you undid all the fibers and turned them into harp strings. And you have now come into a phase in which you are attuning yourself to the song of your soul, the essence of your divine calling. This level of perseverance, of transforming yourself, no matter where you came from, it is the foundational rags to riches kind of story. It's breaking free of the limitations that were placed upon you by life, by the outside world, but also by the inside world, by the things that you were told and the things that you were raised to believe. And you're learning that through being very diligent about what you think, how you move in the world, and the ways in which you choose to live your life based off of the calling of your soul rather than the expectations of the people around you or in your past or the people that you grew up with or that raised you. The waves that the collective are feeling, you're turning into divine flow. And that's such a beautiful thing to witness. And I'm not watching it physically. I can just feel it energetically. I can see it in my third eye, this beautiful transformation of self. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you may not ever resonate with the butterfly transformation story because it hasn't felt like you've cocooned it. It feels very much like you've been doing this all out in the open. You've been doing it for the world to see. You've been doing it for your family to see. And that puts you up against significantly greater odds. It puts you up against everything right there in the open. But the inner transformation that you're doing, that inner transformation, no one understands the depths that you've gone to, but Spirit does. And the energy that I'm picking up from Pluto is saying that he was like your mentor, your aid, your guide, showing you, teaching you, leading you. Pluto may be dominant in your chart, or Scorpio may be dominant in your chart. You may have strong 8th house placements. Anything that would be easily tied to Pluto energy in your natal chart is where you can see where that great strength comes from, because he is lending it to you. I just heard subtle. So you may want to check out any minor aspects in your chart. The subtleties are where he comes in the strongest for you. Wow. Okay, so we're going to take a look. We have 4 cards on each side. These 2 cards signify your inner change. These 2 cards signify the outer change. So we're going to take a look at the inner first. So we have the 7 of Earth with sea creatures. And we have the card 15 with llamas. And llamas is the first harvest festival. It is on August 1st and occurs during Leo season. On this card, on the llamas card, is actually the god Pan. But llamas is, we say the first harvest season, in pagan traditions, the belief is that the oak king dies and the holly king takes his place. But this first harvest is celebrated in a way that can actually turn into some level of debauchery, just because it's like a celebration of life and death. It's this understanding that the first harvest is here, and so all of what has been planted can now begin to be reaped. But there is a cost to that. The sun has less time in the sky. The days get shorter. The nights get longer. The world gets colder and harder. And if one has been very persistent, if one has persevered and done the work, they will have a comfortable, safe winter. And if not, they are looking at a very long, hard winter. When we talk about the 7 of Earth, in this deck in particular, it talks about sea creatures, and it actually makes a reference to amniotic fluid and how we are all created in water. We are all created in this bubble of water. And so water is our essence, and it asks us to remember what it's like to be in the water. Internally, your biggest transformation has been in a couple of areas. Number one, it's been this very persistent, very diligent dedication to recognizing the areas of your own emotional body that are triggered by things from the past, that are triggered by the ways in which you grew up, that are triggered by different things, and make you feel like you have to watch out for sharks, or make you feel like you are the shark in the water and get very reactive. It's this assessment, this constant, intense assessment of your emotional body to make sure that it is aligned. The other side of it is addictions from your family line that you are healing out of yourself, that you're transforming, knowing that there is a price to pay for having an addiction. There's a cost, both physical, emotional, and mental. And it's not one that I feel as though you are willing to pay in your life. You've seen it. You understand it. You've gone to the depths of what it's like for some of you. For some of you, you may have had very serious addictions that you have overcome over the years. And over this retrograde cycle, those addictions that you've overcome have been set in stone. You have healed it out of the fiber of your being. It's no longer there. This is a very beautiful energy. It's learning that we reap what we sow, and there is a cost for the things that we do, and we can celebrate the harvest. But you want to make sure that if you're celebrating a harvest, that you're celebrating a harvest that you have put the time, effort, and energy into, because that's where the payback comes from. That's what the return is that work that you have put in. So let's take a look at how your outside world is transforming. Oh, beautiful. We have the card 8 with strength and the card 4 with chalices, or 4 of chalices. This is amazing, actually, because even though traditionally the 4 of cups or the 4 of chalices will talk about ignoring the offerings from the universe, what I'm seeing here is that in your outside world, you have learned how to take all of the pains and the changes and the transformations that you've gone through and realize that there really is nothing that you cannot do. You have this power and this essence to just keep going, but you're not going in a way that is actually harming you anymore. There's such a beautiful balance between these cards, between the energies and the messages on this card. It's like, you know how to step into this. I'm going to move and I'm going to go. And, in this strength card, she's what we would consider in, society to be elderly. And then you've got this beautiful child here. It's showing that it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. It doesn't matter what has come before. You know that when you set your mind to doing something, you can do it. And you're learning how to move and rest in balance. You know how to be mature and to do the things that you need to do to take care of your mind and your body and your soul. And at the same time, you know that your best work and your strongest points of intuition and connection come when you rest, when you meditate, when you dream, when you get connected to the higher realms. And you know that the offerings from the universe, they come from within. And so you actually give yourself this equality, this beautiful balance now. And that beautiful balance is really going to show in your outside world. I'm actually getting a lot of physical strength coming through. But it's this essence of all the hard work that you've done. You're not going to have to keep working this hard, but it's going to be a consistent kind of work now. You're going to know what you want to do, or you already know what you want to do. And it is absolutely possible because you know it's possible, because you know that you can do this. You don't put limitations on yourself. And you now realize that resting and rejuvenating yourself, rejuvenating your energy, and getting connected, it actually progresses you further than if you were to push forward in an exhausted state or in a state where it's time to take a rest. It's time to go inward. It's time to let yourself listen to the song of your soul, or to play music, or to engage in things that are just fun for you. You're learning how to balance these things. And in this card in particular, she's literally gathering the cups, but she knows there's another one. So she is allowing it to come to her. And that's the beautiful thing, is you know when to move and you know when to receive. And that's what's transforming in your outside world. Everything that you have moved towards is now coming back to you. It may not come back in exactly the same form, but it's coming back to you in a way where it just is a natural equality kind of flow. I'm actually seeing in my third eye the 6 of Pentacles card. But this is such a beautiful, transformative energy here. It's this rising above. And there's this essence of forgiveness because you have now understood that you needed to go through these journeys and lessons from your family. I am just in awe of you. I'm so in awe of you. And you know the best part here? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You literally don't have any repeating numbers, but all the numbers here right now are progressive numbers. It's progressive growth. It's moving through the cycles. It's moving through and into the next phase. And you know that you're doing this because you've really done the work. Like you've genuinely done the work, pile one. And this is very incredibly impressive energy. And I want you to know that. I can feel such a gentleness from Spirit and from Pluto. It's like when the prodigy becomes the master. You were the prodigy at some point, but you are now becoming the master because you shed these things that have held you back, these self-limiting beliefs that have held you back for so long, this fear and worry and shame and blame. You're just shedding so much, and your body, I can feel, it's almost like your body is getting a complete overhaul. Like you are going to be so much more energized, and you're not going to, I just heard you're not going to doubt when it's time to rest anymore. Okay, so we're just going to get a couple of oracle cards to see how we can integrate this change into your life. So Spirit, guides, and Pluto especially, can we get some cards about integration? All right, we've got 2 cards here. On the back of the deck, we have 16 with memory and rosemary. We have the sun in Leo, and we've got the strength with Leo. There's a lot of Leo energy. So I know I said Scorpio. You may have Leo in your 8th house. You may have Leo in your 8th house. That's very interesting. Okay, we have the card 26 with continuance in apple, and card 38 with hope in daffodil. Oh, I love daffodils so much. Okay, so we've got water energy, but we've got Capricorn energy, and I was picking that up. I didn't say it, and I wish I had. And then we've got, that's air energy with Taurus. Interesting. So we have a lot of earth. It's you're balancing the physical with the emotional, the physical with the mental. You're balancing these things out really beautifully. And moving forward, you're asked to really remember all those times where you felt like you were going to fall down. You felt like you couldn't get there. And then you got back up and you kept going. You kept going and you gained the wisdom that you needed. That's what you're being asked to remember. That memory that you're being asked to pull out is that continuance, that perseverance, that I can, I will, I am kind of energy. It's going to keep you feeling hopeful. And the daffodil really is just like Spirit and your guides and Pluto saying, just know that your hope is not in vain. All right, can we get any further messages? All right, we have justice. There's one more. Pretty sure there is. We have one more. Where are you? There you are. And family, yeah. And then on the back, we have prosperity. You guys are going to be coming into a very prosperous time in your life. And yes, I know that is literally what the card is here for, but this is going to be when I say prosperous time, I don't mean just monetarily. I mean emotionally prosperous. I mean in connections prosperous. You've balanced so much out. And this justice card speaks about that return energy. You may be healing bonds with your family, or you may be starting a family of your own, or you may have a family of your own. And for those of you who are thinking about starting a family or who have a family, the message that's coming through is you have done what needed to be done. You have healed what needed to be healed. You have rebalanced the scales through your work. You have rebalanced the scales. And by work, I mean inner work. I mean shadow work. I mean the transformation that you did for yourself. You have rebalanced those scales. You truly have. So your family, the one that you're building now, or the one that you have built and are nurturing now, that is the family that gets the benefits because you've done what you needed to do. Some of you, you know what? Some of you may be like me, where it was your children starting to show those same patterns of behavior that really sparked you for change. That really made you say, I don't want this for my children. I don't want this life for them. So I won't allow myself to continue going in these cycles. For some of you, this is literally mending within yourself, this rebalancing from the times that you were younger. Your idea, your perception of family may have changed, but that doesn't mean that it isn't family. All right, pile one. This is all I am seeing for you guys. I am so proud of you, and I can feel how proud Spirit is, and I can feel how proud Pluto is. So I want to say thank you so much for everything you've done and for everything you continue to do. It's it's this quiet strength that you have that I am very honored to touch into and to tap into. So I want to say thank you one more time for being here. Thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. And thank you to Spirit for these messages. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. And let us know down in the comment section below how you're doing. Let us know how this resonated and connect to other pile ones. All right. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the second card and symbol, the card Awen and the Goddess of Inspiration, as well as the symbol Crossroads, this is your message. You also have the Liminal Spirits Oracle card of Mugwort. Altogether, there is a strong and powerful transformation. And even though we're going to be looking at both the inner transformation as well as the outer transformation here, everything that you've been transforming is from your inner life. So the Crossroads rune is actually considered one of the more negative runes to show up in a reading. It signifies obstacles, challenges, blockages, conflict. It's that moment that you come to a point in your life where it seems like there's every direction you can go and none of the directions are where you want to go. These are moments in our life that are there to make us go the only direction that isn't outward, but to have us go within. What I picked up the strongest, the transformation that you have been going through, pile 2, is this awareness that the inner journey is the only source of light that you need, that you desire, that you're meant to find and use to guide you on your path. Mugwort, as well as Awen, both talk about visions and gifts. Your energy is so highly spiritual. And there are times on this spiritual journey where we come into a place where everything feels like it's up against us. It ends up feeling like it's you against the world. In those moments, it can be really hard to trust, to believe in spirit. Those are the moments we sabotage ourselves the most. Now, when I was tapping into the runes, I asked for one area that's transforming. For you, it was self-sabotage. It was this energy that you've been pushed in every direction. And there's actually an example that I gave during a session with my client that is very prominent here. It's this being cornered like a feral cat. When a feral cat is cornered, it will either fight or give up, or it will appear to give up and it'll just keep fighting. You were the feral cat. You were cornered, but you were cornered by the universe, by spirit. The pressure from Pluto in Capricorn for you may have felt like being in a pressure cooker. It's like transform or die is the kind of the energy. And I know that sounds morbid, but that's kind of the energy I'm getting, where you realized there was no direction you could take. And so you stopped trying to take directions and you just went to find you. It's not quite the hermit journey, but it kind of is kind of what it's I'm picking up. It's kind of like you went off book on this one, because sometimes we hit the crossroads and there's no way around it. There's just, we've got to figure this out. We've got to go within. We've got to heal this. And so we do. Not everyone does, but those who feel that calling, and I've been in the crossroads place. I know. I was there last December when Venus was in retrograde, and it was like the only thing I can do is just stop everything I'm doing. Stop everything I'm doing and figure out what the heck I need to do within. It's finding that light within yourself. And when you found it, you likely opened up a whole can of gifts. I wanted to say can of worms, but it's kind of like you pop off. I don't know if you know those pop off cans where it just like springs out. Because they're meant to be like little joke things. But that's kind of the energy I got. Like, that was what came out. And even that, you have to put the insert that pops out, you have to push it down and keep that pressure and put that can lid on. Everything about this feels like you've been under pressure so much. And now I'm hearing the song Under Pressure. But that's what it feels like, is just this constant deluge of pressure and visions and gifts and things awakening, and you not knowing how to handle it, what to do with it. But there's something changing for you, and I can feel it. And I believe that you can feel it too, but you may not be able to put your finger on it. So let's work on that together. So on this side, we have your inner transformation. Here we have the outer transformation. So let's start with the inner. So we have the one of fire, which is the sun, as well as the maiden of fire. Okay, so the maiden of fire is where we're going to start. And you can see she's holding a candle. And the maiden of fire is actually on the page of fire. And this talks a lot about inner light. This is your inner world. I actually forgot the message that came out, and now it just came back. You were discovering your own. It's like discovering your own ego. It's learning how to be inspired by yourself. You may be someone who has heard so many times, you should tell your story, you should share your story, you should write a book, you should start a blog, you should start a podcast. And all those ideas sound great, but You're not entirely sure which one. That's that crossroads energy again. And so this transformation internally is literally learning how to hear yourself. Not everybody is meant to do a podcast or meant to write a book. We share our stories in a variety of ways in our life when we feel called to share our stories. When we receive divine inspiration, divine visions, divine guidance, that always sources within. And so you're learning how to harness the light that you contain within your very being and using that as the candle of inspiration for you to move forward. And right now, you're in this energy of allowing for yourself to realize that you have what it takes within you to light your path, to find the inspiration, to find the spark for what it is that you want to do. Not what anybody else says you should do, but what you want to do, what your heart is telling you to do, what makes you feel that essence, that power within yourself. And this is why I said it's like you're discovering your ego. So a lot of the times I talk about ego versus soul, and I talk about how we're all a soul, but the ego is actually our persona. Give me just one moment. I got to grab Willow. Okay, I'm back. She wanted to go lay on her very soft bed instead of the kitchen floor. But what I was saying is our ego is our persona. It's the person that we are. So when I first discovered this about myself, what I said was, I may be an immortal soul. I may be a divine soul, which means that I get unlimited chances to do this the right way for my soul. But Monica gets one life. So I'm going to, on a soul level, I'm going to do Monica justice. I'm going to live fully as Monica. I'm going to live fully as who I am in this life. And that's the essence of a true healthy ego, is learning that your ego is your persona. It's your character in this play of life. And it's meant to be your spark of inspiration. Everything that you've gone through has been what the person that you are in this life is going through. And that's meant for your soul growth, but it's also meant to help you take yourself out of identifying too much with it while still respecting who you are and why you're here. So it's kind of like if your name is Jane or Fred or Peter, you say, I am going to give Jane, or I am going to give Peter, or I am going to give Fred the absolute best life I can. And then think about what you want to do with that. And let that be the candle that illuminates the inspiration within you. Let that guide you through prophetic dreams and visions, guide you through all of the things that Jane or Peter or Fred can do in this life, right here and right now. Removing the essence of self-sabotage because you've gone through this or you've gone through that, or who am I to, and realizing that you're here to do what you're here to do. That's how you move through this transformation. That's how you have learned to move through this transformation. So let's find out how it's going to impact your outside world. We have the Four of Swords. Such an interesting Four of Swords. And the Ace of Wands again. Oh my gosh. Look at this. What changes in the inside world changes in the outside world. You're learning to let yourself rest, take care of yourself, to do what you want to do. She is literally surrounded by letters and bills and everything all around her, but she's sitting there having fun. She's just relaxing. It's not getting to her because it just is. So she's taking the time that she needs. and all the fairies around her are resting. It's knowing that you can, I just heard you can give it a rest. Like you can give it a rest. You can be like, okay, this is where I'm at, but I have this inspiration within me and I'm going to transform this. And I know I'm going to transform it and I know I'm capable of it. So I'm going to give myself the time that I need to enjoy myself, to be fully myself, to live fully as myself. And that gives you this whole new beginning in your life. Your life is beginning that's what I'm feeling and hearing. Your life is beginning now. You found that spark within you, that spark that's just uniquely you. And no one is going to be able to tell you that's not okay or tell you you can't do it. It just won't happen because you're living a truly divinely inspired life now. And you can be as ordinary as you want to be because you realize that ordinariness is such a beautiful thing and that everything around you is literally magic. You can look at life through one lens or you can look at it through the lens of magic. And it's kind of like you've decided, you know what, I'm going to look at this through the lens of magic and I'm just going to create magic where I'm at. I'm not going to worry about finding the resources and being this or being that. I'm just going to use what I have and create what I want. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That level of inspiration, it wouldn't matter if the entire world came at you with pitchforks and screaming and yelling, because you'd literally be able to just smile and talk them down. And in doing so, you'd literally change their entire perception of pitchforks for some reason. It's kind of like you'd be like, this is more beneficial to be used, I don't know, on hay rather than on a person. And they'd be like, you know what? That's brilliant. I should have done that a long time ago. It's like you can diffuse any situation by just being very blunt about like the commonality of things. It's so, I want to say curious. I was going to say interesting, but it's like this curious thing. It's like if you were Alice in Wonderland and you looked at the rabbit and in one of those moments where he stops to check his watch, then freaks out about being late, you would look at him and be like, if you wouldn't stop and look at your watch, you'd move a lot faster. And it's that just like spark of just, oh, you're absolutely right. And you're just walking through your life like this now. And the world is responding in kind. It's like whatever tiny little inspirations you have, people are like, holy crap, why didn't I think about that? That seems so simple. I'm going to do that. And then they change. And now you're realizing that it doesn't matter the obstacles because the obstacles have an easier solution than you ever thought they did. And it's all because you literally have found the inspiration within yourself to just not have obstacles. What did you do? Pile 2, this is such an interesting, wow, what did you do? And now I've got spirit tingles down my legs. What did you do? What did you change? Because it's like you're literally walking magic. This is so cool. Your energy is so cool. Okay, let's find out how you can integrate this and move forward. We have the card 24, Agreement. We've got Water Energy. There's Strawberries and Libra. Ooh, Libra energy. There's a feather quill on here. Maybe you guys want to get into calligraphy. It's a very specific thing. Or like penning letters in quill and then sending it to people and making that a service. That'd be really cool. It would be like taking the old style of writing and creating something new with it. That's so interesting. Maybe that's an idea for someone. And then we have the card 33. Again, 33. You guys might be seeing repeating threes. If not, you may start. We've got 33, wholeness with black mulberry. Again, water energy, but we've got Aquarius as well. So this is a lot of emotional communication. We've got fire, air, and water. There's no earth on here. It's like, man, you're so grounded that this is going to be very strange, but it just came through, so I'm going to say it. You may be an earth sign. You may have your big three in earth signs. Your sun, your moon, and your rising are all in earth signs. And so you needed to be able to discover the essence of the other energies in order for you to be able to work with all of the elements. And that's why, and the last one that you needed to work on really was fire. Was that spark, that divine connection. So moving forward, it's just this essence of understanding. When I get agreement, it's like understanding that you are whole within yourself. It's that ego idea that's coming through with agreement. It's knowing that you're agreeing to give yourself the best life possible. And I love that we have berries here. I don't know if you caught my shorts, but I actually made bumbleberry jam, which is just a blend of a bunch of berries together. But when I did that, I mixed like herbs with it and I went completely intuitively, but it's to help balance the mind and the body. And it's such a just incredibly powerful, but delicious jam. That's just such a simple concept, balancing the mind and the body. It's like you understand your mind and your heart, your emotions and your communication. Everything is coming into this beautiful balance because you did the only thing that you could. You were cornered. You did the only thing that you could. You went internal. And I'd love to say that that's a normal thing. It's what would be expected, but it's not. Some people feel this pressure and they buckle under the weight. Not everyone can do what you did. And you're doing it in a way that's just so like nonchalant is the word I want to use. Thank you, Spirit. And then we've got the card 22, wisdom with the bay leaf, Leo energy. So there, again, fire energy. You may have Leo in your 10th house, your 3rd house, or your sixth house, but more so in your 3rd or your 10th house is what I'm picking up. It's like you're learning how to harness the wisdom. Now, bay leaves are used a lot in divination. So you may be a diviner. But it's like there's just this essence that you're doing something different. Oh, those came out fast. We have home and fertility. Wow, yeah. Are you guys entrepreneurs or building something from your home? This is giving me a lot of Empress energy. There's so much creativity. And then we have finding. See, you guys literally went and found yourself. You found yourself. And now you're moving forward. The best way to integrate it is just to know that you're whole, to agree that this is just who you are. It's almost like, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's like you can say something to yourself and it is. So you could look in the mirror and say, I am whole within myself, and you are. You wouldn't even need to look in the mirror, is what I just heard. Like you can just say it. It's like you speak it into existence. It's a very powerful manifestation, like insanely powerful manifestation. And then when I looked at the clock, it was 22:02. So a lot of twos as well. You're literally like blending everything together. You're coming together completely. You're balancing so many things. And you're coming out into the world now. You have some massive, massive, like soul level wisdom to share with the world. You literally found where you belong. I can't say anything else. You found where you belong. It's like you found yourself. You found your home within yourself. You did this. You did it. I'm absolutely amazed. You guys have me literally speechless. I am wow. Just just wow. Okay. Pile 2. I'm not getting anything else. I want to know you. Let's be friends. So please let me know down in the comment section below if you're a pile 2. Thank you so much for your energy and for bringing it to my channel, because holy Pete, this is amazing. Thank you so much, pile 2. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connections between our energies. And thank you to Spirit and Pluto for channeling these messages forth and helping with the awareness. This has been an absolutely incredible experience, and I am absolutely honored. Pile 2, if this resonated, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you get notified when I upload and you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the description box, there are links to my author channel or my author page on Amazon. I keep wanting to say YouTube. It's like my brain just can't wrap itself around how powerful your manifestation ability is. On Amazon, as well as links to donate if you feel so inclined. Let me know down in the comments. I'm so curious about you guys. You guys have me so flabbergasted. This is incredible. Like, I just kind of want to shake your hand or just like have you give me that little piece of common sense. This is really cool. All right, pile 2. Thank you again so much. I love you all. I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the 3rd card and Rune, the card 8 with still butchering it, Goddess of the Mind, as well as the rune Harvest, this is your message. You also have a Liminal Spirits Oracle card of the Honeybee. First off, I'm getting massive Gemini energy with this pile. This talks about, with all of these combined, the number one thing that I asked of the crystals or the runes when I picked them was for one word for what you have been transforming to bring in more magic into your life. And for yours, it was self-trust. But in particular, self-trust in the area of your career, the work that you're doing, your financial situation, your physical world. This is about you learning how to really harness the power of your own mind, the knowledge that you have, the wisdom that you have, the ability that you have to continue moving forward on the path that you know is right for you, despite how kind of out of the ordinary it might be. The honeybee talks about cross-pollination and how cross-pollination is crucial and essential to Mother Nature. But through cross-pollination, the honeybee creates the sweetest of nectars, the most succulent, the kind of honey that I'm hearing fetches a high price at the market. And Skaha, that's how you say it, Skaha, sorry, talks a lot about learning how to wage war in the right way. It's like you are learning how to wage war within your own mind and taking what you have learned from that transformation, planting seeds, and now the time for harvest is here. Everything within these cards is telling me that this is your time. You have arrived. This is your time. The transformations that you have done cannot be undone. And I don't think that you would want to undo them. I think that this is something that you literally did on your own for yourself because you knew it was needed. Now, the honeybee also talks about the hive and about understanding that each member within the honeybee has its own role, and we respect every role within that dynamic. This could be in terms of your work, it could be in terms of your family life, but it's recognizing that it's not all 100% on your shoulders. Skahach also taught other warriors how to fight, knowing that they're going to go out and do what they need to do. And it's not for her to battle their battles for them. You're learning how to use the wisdom that you have to teach others how to move forward in their lives, how to harness what they have within themselves to create nectar for themselves, to create a life of their dreams. And the harvest does talk about an abundance of blessings. Sometimes it can feel as though our blessings are on hold or blocked off or just never going to come in. The honeybee could at times feel as though there's never any stop to the work. But the honeybee, they all have their own place, their own role. Just like we all have our own roles in this world, in our lives, we have our own soul path. Each individual soul and the path that each individual soul takes is crucial and pertinent and important to the whole, but it isn't meant to be the same as everybody else. It's meant to be what it is for that individual, because that piece contributes to the whole of everything. And without the diversity, there would be only the same. And I will always say that when we come into a place of dissonance with others or within ourselves, that's where the greatest growth occurs. If everything is always the same, there's no dissonance, then we wouldn't ever know what real harmony is, because everything is always the same. So we have to learn about differences in order to learn how to see the uniqueness in everything. And this is something that you're definitely learning, but it's also learning how to see your own uniqueness and see the importance of who you are and what you're here to do, and know that your uniqueness is important to the whole. It isn't just that everyone else is meant to be unique and do their own individual thing and still be a part of everything. You are as well. And this is something that has been a long transformative process for you, but you're coming out of it now. You're coming into a place where, as Pluto turns direct, the transformation and the magical transformation at that in your life is that you're about to see the fruits of the labor that you've put in. You're about to experience actually tasting the nectar of what you have done for yourself internally. So let's take a look. These are your internal transformations, and these are the external transformations. So we have the elemental of earth, as well as the 6 of fire, which is also Saturn. You know, the Saturn card talks a lot about self-discipline. It talks about feeling limited. I was going to say limited and limitations, but feeling that limited energy, feeling as though you can't move in any direction. You may have been going through a lot of karmic cycles, and karmic cycles especially surrounding your money mindset, your abundance mindset, your prosperity mindset. There is a cause and effect to everything, and you're starting to learn that you can harness the power of your mind to change your own cause and effect relationship with money, with the earth. The elemental of earth literally talks about abundance. That is what that card signifies. It signifies an abundance. It's knowing that the sun is going to come out, the sun is going to shine on you. And as much as Saturn can feel like it's all about limitations, Saturn is teaching us of our own inner strength, our own inner power, teaching us to trust ourselves. This is what you're learning. Self-trust in the path that you're on, self-trust that you know what you're meant to do and that it is important to the whole. And it is through that that you are coming into a time and a space where all the work that you've done on your own self-worth and self-trust has a cause and effect. You are now moving out of the cause part and you're going to be experiencing the effect part in your life. And this means that, to me, this is showing me that you've really waged war at what you believe you can achieve, you can accomplish, and you can attain in this life. And it's not about materialism for you. It's about wanting to know, wanting to prove to yourself that if you step into a state of trust within yourself, that you can be the warrior of your life. You can build the colony that you want to build. You can create this beautiful nectar within your life, this wonderful blessings of abundance and prosperity in your life. You may have lived in poverty. Like, I'm not talking poverty mindset. I mean true poverty. And that's a challenge so much, because not a lot of people understand it. Not a lot of people understand what that's like, what it's like to go to the grocery store and have to calculate every last penny to make sure that you can get most of the groceries that you need, and knowing that you can't get all the groceries that you need. That is a limitation, a true blue limitation that you have to deal with in the physical world. And something during this retrograde really taught you that you can change how you perceive it so that that can change in your physical world. You learned about the cause and effect of the internal world with the external world. That's no small feat at all. You may actually have Saturn in Gemini in your natal chart, or Saturn opposing Gemini in your natal chart. So that would put Saturn in Sagittarius. You don't have to have those for that to apply, but that's kind of an energy that I'm picking up, where Saturn really challenges that Gemini energy in your chart, where the places where you want to be all parts of yourself have felt like it's coming constantly up against opposition, up against limitations, up against boundaries or blockages. And it's about you learning your own internal boundaries. It's about you learning how to really be truly trusting in the path that you're on, as well as being truly trusting in what you're able to bring into your life on a financial and abundant level. So let's find out how it's transforming your outside life. We have the Knight of Wands. Wow. And the Ten of Chalices. It's literally transforming everything in your outside life. I love the Knight of Wands energy, because to me, the Knight of Wands energy is like, as soon as you learn how to trust yourself and you know what path you want to take and you know what you're creating, you just go. You go with this inspiration, and it literally leads you into like the happiest part of your life imaginable. The 10 of Chalices, or the 10 of Cups, is always my happily ever after card. And we talk about happily ever after a lot in society, in books, and everything. The happily ever after is not the wedding day. It's not the day your baby is born. The happily ever after part is when you move into a state where you go through the dissonance and you start to appreciate those times, because you appreciate the growth and the opportunity for change and the sharing of the wisdom that you have with others, and especially with others in your life. They say happy family, happy everything. it's more than just this one moment that this card depicts. It's everything. And you're learning that you create your own happiness. The more that you learn that you are co-creating your life, that the things that feel as though they have knocked you down and been so fated, they have been there for you to learn to trust yourself more. Because every moment that you haven't trusted yourself, things have gone awry. Every moment that you step further into trust, things grow even more. It's like sprinkling miracle growth on whatever you create. It's sprinkling miracle grow on your bank account. It's the energy here is very much, even though we literally have all 4 elements here, because we've got the goddess of the mind. So we do have that air element really strongly, but that is the clinch factor, the crucial factor. It's your own mindset that is the most important. So when you move from this wisdom place, this understanding and knowing of when to fight and when not to fight, when to move and when not to move, that's when things change. And that's what's changing for you. You've literally changed the way you move in the world. That's incredible. So we're just getting some messages about how to integrate this inner and change with the outer world to help kind of hasten the process. But I mean, we do have the Knight of Wands. It's going to be happening pretty quickly as it is. All right. Let's see. There we go. Wow. No. Okay. There. Okay. We have fertility and justice. You guys may have been drawn to another pile. And on the back, we have grieving. Okay. Every moment that you feel like you have been knocked down, that you have been beat down, every moment that you found yourself on the floor crying because of a loss of some sort, whether it's a loss within yourself, whether it's a loss of a family member, whether it's a loss of direction, of finances, a loss of your home, your business, your vehicle, anything that you feel is lost and you have had to grieve through, that is being rebalanced, because you're coming into this state of abundance, of fertility, of creativity. You're coming into this place where your mind is stronger than anything else that might come up against it. And Saturn really does truly give blessings. I know not a lot of people would say that, but through doing the planetary retrogrades, I really have grown to appreciate, to respect these planets in a much deeper way, because we can see how the lessons that they teach us are really for our growth. And that's something that you may have found with some area of life. For me, it's astrology and divination. But whatever area of life it is for you, you're learning to have far more respect for those moments in which you've been knocked down, because it has taught you to stand back up. It has taught you to harness what you have within yourself. It has taught you to see your own inner strength, to see your own capabilities and possibilities. For some of you, I am getting this very strong message that like the whole package is coming in. It's literally like all of the scales are being rebalanced from every moment in which you were upset. I don't like to say grieving, just because grieving has such deep negative connotations a lot of the times, but it's like any moment where you have been like, it's literally like the wind has been knocked out of you. There is a divine rebalance. It does happen. It does occur. So we have the card 12 with affection and sorrel. It's fire energy and Taurus. And you've had to learn how to love yourself through this. Through like I'm hearing like a beat down or a smack down. Yeah. 37, geranium and healing. That's air energy, Aries energy. And on the back, we have the card 18, again with Aries energy and stimulation with chili and fire energy. Okay. It's been a long road for you. And where I felt really like pumped up as soon as I touched this energy, your inner energy has really, really gone through the ringer. Pluto's retrograde probably made you feel like, oh God, I just heard the word pariah. Like no matter what you tried, it just never, you were just outside. It was just, like on the cusp, almost there. And moving forward, you're being asked to realize that your mind now has all of this wisdom. You've gone through this phase. You've moved yourself through this phase. You have healed this phase. You are now moving into a time where you're actually going to receive that return of what you've put out to others. The help, the guidance, the support, the love, the affection that you've given to others, you're actually going to see that back. And when you receive that back, it's not going to change a single thing about what you think of yourself because you already know yourself. And because you already know yourself, that affection is just going to affirm what you already know about yourself. It's not going to go to your head and it's not going to be something that makes you all superior. You're not that person. And if you were that person in the past, you're definitely not now. Saturn doesn't move in any way that is gentle. Truly, just it's very firm. It's not meant to be mean. It's very firm. When it comes to changing your abundance mindset, Saturn will not stop until you get there. It's like taking a constant pummeling. But the reason why it happens is because there is such deep love for you in this world, by the world, by the planets, by the stars, by the earth. So as you grieve, so do all of these things. And you do deserve this balance. You do deserve this return. All of the healing that you've done moving forward, this is asking you to really, really, truly love yourself. Let yourself get fired up again. Let yourself believe in this. Let yourself 100% move into this state of, I believe this is what my future is. I believe that this is what my outside world is going to look like. I don't know if you watched the intro or not, but in the intro, I talked about the feeling of the buildup before a storm with Pluto going direct. The buildup of the storm can be your power to harness. It's like taking if you've ever seen Sweet Home Alabama, you take a metal rod and you stick it in the sand during a lightning storm or during a thunderstorm because the lightning's going to strike the rod and it will form glass underneath it. You are the rod and you're creating this beautiful piece of art. You're creating glass from taking that energy and putting it into the earth. You're creating your nectar. You're creating this fertility within your life. It really does to me feel like you might be you might be the most tired you've ever been. But you are the goddess of your own mind. You are and this is not gender specific, but this is, you are the purveyor of power over your own mind. And that's what you've been learning. Saturn and Pluto have likely been playing off of each other. Your natal Saturn has likely been interacting with Pluto. But remember that Saturn is also the ruler of Capricorn, which means that Saturn's energy was ruling Pluto during this, which is a transformation through self-discipline. Yours in particular is a transformation through self-trust. And it's all about the money mindset. And for some people, that is the hardest thing to do, especially when your outside world doesn't reflect a single thing about your true abundant nature. But it will, and rapidly. I believe it because I can see it. I can see that you've done the healing. It's healing of knowing that you can take the lead in your life. There's so much Aries energy, and then we've got Taurus, and this fertility card always to me feels like the Empress energy. That to me, what I'm seeing here is just this shedding of things. This shedding away of all of these mindsets and beliefs so that you know that you are worthy of that beautiful life that you want, that you desire, because that desire comes from your soul. It doesn't come from your heart. That beautiful life that you want, if you want a big house, you want a big house. If your soul is showing you visions of you in a big house, that's because that's what your soul has contracted for. But you have to heal the money mindset first. You have to heal that belief that you can have it. And that's what you've been doing. That transformation is there. You have done that transformation. You have healed it. You've learned how to literally fuel yourself in times where there has been no sign of benefit, but you've just believed it. And that's a beautiful thing. That is a worthy thing. That is an abundance that not a lot of people have. So please know, from my heart to yours, I appreciate what you've done for yourself, because what you've done for yourself definitely is teaching me in this moment. So thank you, pile 3. This is all I'm seeing for you guys. So I want to say thank you so much to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. Thank you so much, Spirit and Pluto, for channeling these messages through for the collective of pile 3. It's always so wonderful to sit here and talk and just share these messages. And I really, truly am grateful for it. So pile 3, thank you so much again. If this video resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video. And let me know down in the comment section below how this resonated. I would love to hear back from you guys. I want to give you guys a big hug. I feel like you're my hug pile. I don't really label a pile my hug pile, but there's always one pile that I just want to wrap my arms around and be like, you're doing this. You've got this. That's what I want to do right now for you guys. Okay, pile 3, thank you again. I love you guys so much, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye.